Hello, Demari. I am so excited to talk to you about Too Hot to Handle and your journey. Let's start at the very beginning. You said in your intro that women usually approach you. That only became true with Bri immediately taking you to the side for a drink. What are your thoughts on that moment and just in general, women making the first move with you?
Honestly, that's a great question. Like, I'm so used to just like anywhere. Like, I don't really have to, like, I wouldn't say try initially, but like at least I'll like give a look or something, or they'll give a look, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna just wait till you come up. So it's up to you. But yeah. So honestly, it happening like that in the show, I was like, oh, okay, all right. I wasn't expecting it here because these are like supposed to be like the hottest people in the world, and like I guess it still happened. But it was like actually pretty flattering, honestly, because she was so direct and so forward. Like usually it's just like a regular conversation. She was like, "No, I love you. Come on, let's go."
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Going into that, since you already brought it up, I think the thing that stands out between you two in terms of differences is, yes, Bri is more direct, that played more into your conflict later. Her big complaint of you going back to the house with Valentina was that you did not pull her aside to talk about it first. So, through that whole experience, would you say you're still not as direct? Have you changed in any way in that department?
That's a really good question. I mean, me just naturally who I am, I'm kind of like non-confrontational. I definitely wanted to talk to her first about like Valentina or whatever, but as we all saw on the show, Joelle just like flipped out and spilled all the beans. So I'm like, all right, dang, I just wanted to like actually have a conversation with her first, but it was too late. So I didn't really get to do it how I wanted to do it. But it's okay. I mean, like, I think on the outside, it's definitely taught me to be more like, all right, this is what's going on. This is how I feel. This is what I'm going to do here. Instead of like waiting and feeling like, okay, maybe it'll be a right time or maybe there's a better situation. I think that now I understand a little bit
Good.
better. I don't really like those types of situations that happened on there.
Yeah. Your married older brother nominated you for the show. What are his thoughts so far watching it?
Basically, yeah, that's my little brother. I knew it. Like most of his stuff is not new. Like the reasons, like the things that happened on the show. These are the reasons that I was coming on there. Like the whole Brie and Valentina situation, that would have 1000% happened in real life. Just as you spoke about Brie coming up to me and just talking to me and like her being kind of the initiator, that would happen to me in real life. And even my kind of reflection on things and my mom having to tell me like, hey boy, like think about other people. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And like actually kind of consider other people in a more respectful manner. Those things happen in real life. So it was very true to who I am as a person. And I feel like that was very well portrayed throughout the show.
Bri wanted to take advantage of bad Lana on that first day. She has this weird interaction with Chris in the bathroom where she like says, "Oh, you should like take off those shorts." And it's just like a weird standoff. Like that's how I felt. And then finally they end up kissing. How would you have handled that if you were in Chris's place?
It felt like that for either one of them, like they didn't want to make the first move. It was like,
Mhm.
you first, you first, you first, you first. So it's like, I mean, if we're here, like Chris took that move, but I don't know if you've ever seen Hitch. Have you ever seen Hitch?
Yes.
He took the whole 100. You never take the whole 100. So, that's what I would do differently. Like, I got to feel some mutual feelings here. Obviously, it worked out in the end for him, like they kissed or whatever, I guess. But like, but like, yeah, I mean, it was just a tad like aggressive. You could tell it was just like full sexual energy. Like, oh, we're just breaking rules to break rules. It didn't feel like genuine. Like, I don't want to brag, but like it was on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Very true. What went through your head when Lana said, Bri, you kissed two guys, you gotta go? Like, did you even have a good last conversation with her?
No, what you saw on camera, that was what happened. I was hurt because like Obviously between us, like things do happen at a different time frame than what is actually shown on the show. So like we were actually getting accustomed to each other. We were actually kind of like starting to fancy each other and really getting to know each other and things like that. And it was just like snap of the finger, she's gone. And like I didn't have a clue that her and Chris had kissed. So it's like, so y'all both just been kind of hiding this. All right, cool. But like I understand that's the game. It is what it is. But at the same time, like I was a little bit hurt about that. It was a little tough watching that back too.
Yeah. You finally got to see what the banishment quarters look like, a new twist on this show. What were your thoughts watching it?
Watching it, I was like, this is nicer than I had pictured in my head. Like I'm literally picturing like almost a jail cell, which it kind of is like elevated jail cell, like Netflix jail cell.
The cleanest jail cell in the world.
Right? Like I would have probably went insane, honestly, because there was no windows in there. No windows in solitary confinement. I would have went crazy. So I'm glad that I didn't go and kiss 2, 3 people in the same day. But like, yeah, like seeing it on there and seeing how they all interacted and how well they really took the situation was amazing for me because I'm like, you guys really made the most out of it when you could have been like really upset.
Very true. Now, Bad Lana did pop in. She offers Bri $5,000 just to watch you interact with one of the new people who come into the retreat. We see you and Flavia. You're rubbing oil on her. We get cut off. We don't know if you rubbed her booty or not. We're thinking the worst. What did you think that it was worth the $5,000 to spend for that clip?
$5,000 is crazy. No, no.
But would you have done it if you were in Bri's place?
I probably would have. I don't think it's worth it. Like I would have still been like, you know what? It's not worth it, but I'm still gonna do it because like, what else am I doing here? I'm in here literally going and saying I don't have any other interaction. What is he doing out there? What is she out there doing? Oh, is she like for me in that situation, I'm like, oh, is she over here like advancing with Chris now? Like, does he have the upper hand? I know I'm going back in here, so I need to see what's going on. So I definitely would have thought about all those things. So I get why she did it, but 5,000.
So ridiculous. But it's a good twist. I loved that.
Yeah.
You're a rapper. Now we have so many musicians in this cast. I don't know what's going on. And you do rap in the season, but what did you think of Joelle's breakup song to Flavia? Would you have ever rapped?
As our time up now is so good, but it's so crazy for him to do that. Like, oh my God, that was like almost, I love Joel, but that was a little tone deaf. Like, just the situation, like, obviously not the song, like, he's saying it really well, like, all of those things. I actually can't wait to see it. But, like, that's crazy to do in this situation. I feel like he could have handled that so much more maturely. And, like, as I'm watching the show, he's been really mature throughout the whole situation, like, very emotionally mature. So for him to pull that in that situation, I didn't like it.
I will say he's the most straight face. It wasn't a petty serenade. It was like, this is how I'm feeling. And he just stops and look at her and she's like, so you're not feeling me anymore? Like, what am I supposed to do? It's not cold. It's not mean-hearted, but yeah, it's like read the room. Like we can just use our words.
Yeah, read the room. That is crazy. Why? Like when he came back in and told us that, I was like, are you serious? That's what you did. You sung a breakup song. Okay, all right. In person. Cool. First time probably ever. But
probably ever. Bri returns from banishment, and you told her that you wanted to continue getting to know each other. Did you then have a discussion of how you would move forward when there's new grenades or around the other people on the show? Basically, were you allowed to flirt with other people?
We actually never had that discussion. Not once. So I think that even played more into the confusion of like, dang, you went on this date. It's Valentina, bro. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, we never had that discussion. We didn't even think about it because like it was just so happy like that you're back. Like, oh my God, like I'm actually happy to see you. So yeah, I want to keep working on this stuff. I forgive you. We're good. Like, let's just keep trying to see what's going on. And in my head, I didn't even like think about other grenades coming in. I don't think she did either, or any of those
Okay.
situations, honestly.
Okay. Gotcha. My next question, because then you go on a date. You don't know who you're going to get. You actually are talking to Catherine in the dressing room right before you see. And she says, "Oh, I'm picturing a Latina, da da da." And then you responded, "A big butt." So my question is your type Latinas?
No, actually, I wouldn't say it's necessarily Latinas. I'm really attracted to like confident, tall, beautiful, well-shaped people, will say. And
Mm-hmm. A stallion.
yeah, a stallion. We'll put it that way. But yeah, like it doesn't have to be like Latina. It's I would say more melanated for sure. But
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to bring up the height because you bring up the height on the date with Valentina. She's 5'8". You said perfect. We know how teeny tiny Bri is. When she's standing next to you, she's basically at your shoulder. So,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's a little crazy because like it's almost like when you see us together, like obviously we look really good together as like two attractive people, but she's little, so you could almost like mistake her little sister almost. But she's like, I think her personality really takes over like almost any room that she's in. Like you can even see in like the comments and all of this stuff. She's just like, we love Bri. Everything about her, like
mhm.
her rights and wrongs, no matter what she's done, they're riding with Bri. So like I think that really exudes like in her energy that she brings in. I really love that part about it. So it ain't like I'm like, if you're not 5'8" or above, I'm not dealing with you. Like it's just one of the things. It's like a type that I can live with or without.
Yeah. You chose to extend your time with Valentina knowing that Bri was back in the quarters. What did you do with that extended time?
I think we see what happens. Yeah, we had some more conversation, and towards the end of that extended time, kiss happened. So that wasn't probably the best of ideas, but I mean, I definitely think like I don't know what you're gonna ask later, but it definitely helped me to really understand what I wanted on the in the retreat, like what I came for, like the growth. Like I didn't go in there like, oh yeah, I'm about to go in here and just automatically fall in love with somebody or like fall for somebody or even think that I'm gonna find anybody in here. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to, but like I'm not like, this is gonna happen for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
once that happened, like almost immediately, I was like, ooh, that wasn't a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instant regret.
Yeah, especially with like the extension of that time. I didn't feel like that was necessarily needed. I could have went back and like had a conversation with Bri, and then if I wanted to try things with Valentina or if I wanted to try things with her and like really see if our connection was that strong, I could have tested it that way. I don't think I had to test it the way that I did.
True. All right. So what was it like watching it back? Bree saying that she didn't want to get to know you anymore. You're like trying to talk things out with her. She's not feeling, I guess, what you're saying. And that was what it ended on. Actually, have you watched that episode yet?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up to date. I'm up to the end of episode 7. So
Okay.
yeah, like watching Brie tell me that she didn't want to like keep continue getting to know me or anything like that. Like it was tough, but I'll be honest. If she responded any other way, I'll probably be doing the same things. Like
Mm,
I don't fault her for that because like stand your ground on respect. Like if that's what you want and you don't want somebody to feel like that they can play with you or do anything like that, then yeah, stand on that. Like I really
mhm.
respected her approach of that and really made me think back like, dang, okay, well, I believe this is what I actually want. So let's try to figure out how I can make my way back to that.
Okay, let's talk about what you said because the big part is that maybe if she was accepting that conversation, you would have gone back. And I think that's the case for like a lot of men. Why? I think it's just like my follow-up question. Why can't you take the first like piece of grace and then be like, well, I'm not going to do it again? Is it just like always falling back of, well, I got away with it the first time?
You know, it's not that I like you just don't think that things are gonna end that easily. I think that's
Mm,
for a lot of men. We just don't kind of have we're very nearsighted. Like we see things as they are right now, not as they are in the future. So when somebody, usually you can kind of charm your way out of it, or even with being outside, you can kind of fix things different ways than when I have to sit here and see how this is affecting the person that I actually care about on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. So for me, being a very empathetic person, that was tough for me. And I was like, yeah, no, I want to make this right because I actually do care about her. So I can't speak for all men, but for me, I know that that's kind of the thing behind it for me.
Yeah. That conversation you had with Valentina to basically end things was a lot of compliments to Bri. Valentina is also like, you know what? I'll say it was kind of like the Joelle song. It's just like, oh, so the meaning under all of this is just you're not really interested in me. She was like, I'm compassionate, but I'm these things. Yeah. What was your relationship with her like after that conversation?
Almost non-existent, honestly. It was just like, I feel like obviously it's an edit, so things don't go exactly as how that goes through and how it portrayed itself on the show. But like, it was kind of like we're not seeing eye to eye here. You know what I mean? As you can see, even the night before, we weren't like even talking to each other. So I was kind of like mind made up prior to that. So I think she was like also feeling like I wasn't there really. So yeah, it wasn't like we weren't cool anymore. We were cool. It was like, oh yeah, we're good, like friends. Hey, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, luckily you and Bri were able to make it work, get back together. You asked her to be your girlfriend. What made you decide on taking that step instead of like waiting?
It felt like the right moment. I felt like we had went through a journey of like, we're in there for such a short time, but it felt like so long. And with that and all the things that we went through, I was like, okay, I've seen you in a bunch of different situations that really let me know that like you are the type of person that I could actually be with on the outside and would look forward to doing that with. So learning and growing and like doing all those things just really felt like the right time, especially with like everything that had happened. I felt like it was like, okay, this is where I want to be. And I want to let you know that.
Which situation made it click of like, oh, I do want to commit to her?
When she went on the date with Jalen and she wasn't vengeful. Like she didn't go and just do it and kiss him just because there are no rules and you did it with Valentina. Like, even though like obviously the other episodes are about to come out, I haven't seen them yet. So like I don't see like exactly what happens, but like even with that, her being honest with me and like that really helped me to know that like, okay, you're the type of person that you actually give grace. You're a graceful person. You're not one of those people that are just going to try to get their lick back just because they can. And if she had done that, I don't think I would have been. I know I wouldn't have been able to continue it because that's like you're just disrespecting for no reason.
True, very true. At the end, we're down to a few couples for the prize money. It's Catherine and Charlie, and then you two. You guys, first of all, when you're at that place, what was your thoughts of like, oh my gosh, I basically have a 50-50 shot?
Me and Bri both were saying this like the night before, like obviously the finale. We were like, we literally forgot that there was prize money here. Like, like we're so in the experience because like so much stuff was happening the whole time too. It's just like, oh my God, I'm not getting a break right now. You know what I mean? So like we really forgot about it. And it's like, you know what? Like the experience was the most important part. But obviously, like having some money at the end of this experience would be incredible because we can like jumpstart. We both got a lot of different things that we want to do. So each of us being able to do that is so important. And that does help to launch those two types of careers and things like that. So, yeah, it was like really cool to be in the finale and like really know like, oh snap, it's two couples. Like we're kind of well established here and like we've been through the ringer already. And Charlie and Catherine are new, but like they're really charming. They're really like all of these things that like everybody wants to see. They're really likable people, in my opinion. So just going against that, it was like, wow, okay, all right. Well, I mean, if we're going off of established whatever, or if if whatever, like I feel like we got the edge in that, but you just never know, you know. So I'm one of those
True.
people that's like kind of neutral. Like
Yeah,
I don't like to get too high or too low.
that's true. Where was the prize pot at for you guys? I couldn't catch it in the last episode. Like, how much money did you win?
Oh, so Gianna, she won 25,000, and
Right.
then me and Bree we won 100,000 total.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Life after the show. What is the relationship status between you and Bri?
Complicated, man. We've been working through a lot of things. We've had our ups and downs, and just kind of like took a break for a little bit because it was just like really hard to adjust to the outside life of like everything. I had like some lag after being in the retreat, and like we were just not really seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. But right now, it's really been like picking back up on things and like seeing, okay, how do we feel? What do we feel? How's our friendship? How's the relationship that we're building and have been building? So it's complicated, man. But like, I think Bramari is still here. Is still here.
Okay. I know you're from Indiana and Bri is in Atlanta. Is
Yeah.
distance a big part of the complications?
Yeah, distance was it was a part of it. It was a big part. Like when I came back from the retreat, me and Bree, we saw each other one time and stuff like that. And she came like almost immediately after and just kind of hung out with me and my family and stuff like that. But it was tough. It's just been like an issue a little bit. Like obviously it's not too far of a flight, but that was one of the things that I didn't speak on in the last answer. But I'm 3 hours behind her. So I stay up pretty late sometimes. I'm up till 12. She's up until 3 in the morning sometimes trying to like just have a conversation with me because I've had a long day. So like it was tough. It's been really tough of like us trying to figure out how to manage that dynamic and stuff like that. And even just trying to figure out, okay, how can we at least shorten this summer if we can figure out some way for us to like both be in the same place, or how often we will visit each other and stuff like that. Yeah, that was one of the more troubling things, I guess I would say. But like the flight isn't bad. It's only like a 2.5 hour flight. So seeing each other ain't like that hard, but still, that's still arrangement things that like obviously if it was day to day, we both stay in Atlanta or she's staying here in Arizona, it would be much easier.
How has your feelings developed for Bri since leaving the show?
I think they're way stronger, honestly. Just as a person, I get to really like see her move on a day to day and like be around her family and like see more of the dynamics of like how she has experiences with other people that are outside of it. And I think that's really helped me to grow and like understand who she is. I get to also see like a lot of the familiarities and similarities that she has with my mom, because they're both Sagittariuses. So they both act very, very similar in a lot of situations. Like, so it's like I almost know how to navigate it, but sometimes I don't because it's like I don't know how to navigate it with this lady. How am I gonna know how to navigate it with you in like a love life? You know what I mean? So just it's really grown. Like she's really a great person. She's really like happy, bubbly, very family oriented, and just like everything that you guys saw on that screen, she's all of those things in real life. So it's 100% complete, authentic person.
What's your sign?
I'm a Libra.
I'm a Libra.
Let's go.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I mean,
That
Libras
explains
are,
some stuff, huh?
yeah, Libras are pretty good partners in general. Like we're all about that. So I see it, but Sages are a lot.
It's tough sometimes, man. Like, because you know us, we just want like peace, we want balance, we want things to be fixed. Like, not in the moment, but almost there. Like, where we can still like we're in the situation still. Let's fix this now, so we don't have to deal with it later. When
Yeah.
Sagittarius is there, a little bit different. It's like, no, I'm still mad, so we're not fixing this right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
The fire. The fire.
it's the fire. Yeah.
I will say, I think that summer of 2024 is the summer of Black love. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the rest of the reality TV world, but we got a Black couple on Love Island, USA and UK. And then on top of that, I think there was a show before both of those that was a win. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm also just thinking of you guys. So, are you familiar with any of those other couples? Like, what are your thoughts on so many Black couples just like taking it home this summer?
You know, it's amazing to see that too, because it's like we don't get that much representation on these other shows. Like usually it's is you get one Black girl and you get like one or two Black guys, and most of the time the Black guys don't go for the Black girl. And
Look, yes.
like for real. So like it's tough to see, but like I'm really happy that like all of us are at that point that everybody's like willing to like really show this on real life and camera that like we can love each other, that we do love each other, that it's not just like it's almost a rarity in TV for some reason. But like it's amazing that like I know that on Love Island US they won the show as well. So did they win in UK too?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
It was
crazy.
recent because it just like both shows just ended. So it is crazy.
Yes.
So did you watch Love Island USA?
I haven't, but I've heard like you can't almost escape it on the internet.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah, yeah.
I will say your storyline's very similar to the winners of that. They had like a falling out because of another woman, and he had to also work pretty hard to get in her good graces, which I really found like unique because just like you said, it's usually one woman, one Black man. The Black man usually doesn't even value the Black woman enough to put in effort, and I really appreciate in both of your stories it is about basically putting in effort and showing that. So I don't know. Did you want to speak to basically going against that grain?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm like happy to show that Black women are worth the effort. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people just kind of want to discard things when it's hard, or like we've had one of the hardest, like just not going all political or anything like that, but we've had one of the hardest struggles of almost anybody in time here in the US, and really showing that hey, we both can love each other. We can show the actual struggle of hey, these are real life things that do happen. Like the situation that happened between me and Bree is men and women going through that right now every single day. So I'm sure the same thing with I believe guy's name's Cordell. I can't remember the young lady's
Serena.
name, but Serena, Cordell and Serena, it's the exact same type of situations that happen in real life every day. And us being able to have grace and forgive each other and work for that forgiveness was really important for me to show. I know that like it's bigger than me, you know?
Have you guys said that you loved each other yet?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Just I noticed it never came up. So I was very, very interested in that. Yeah. And then my other question is that have you guys kept in touch with the other people in your cast? Who are you closest to?
Oh, I'm very close to a lot of them. I'm more close to like the guys, obviously. But I've kept in like really close contact with like Chris, Charlie. I actually just saw Joao. I'm really close with Louis. I'll have conversations where we're just like chatting for 30, 40 minutes, just talking crazy to each other. like those are my guys. Like I was just with Joao and Christian not too long ago. I saw Jalen too. Like me and him, we linked up in Florida. I got like some videos I'm gonna post after like all of this comes out. Because like everybody thinks like hate each other right now. But yeah.
Chris, what's your thoughts on that?
On Chris,
you guys hate each other.
What? Like, it's because like they are so invested in the show. So I'm like even playing on it. Like, you know what I mean? Because why not? Let your mind wander. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. He's literally like with me and Jalen, like it was an immediate like, okay, I understand who you are. We're from a lot of the same circumstances. We're both from the US, obviously. So that makes us like have a similar experience, but just our upbringings, families, even where his family is from. Like his family's from like St. Louis area. Mine is from Indianapolis. So we're both like Midwestern. You know what I mean? It's a lot of those similarities there. So we kind of just like hit it off really quickly. But people are so fun.
I kind of love that we did get some Midwest Black rep. It's not usual.
Yeah, it's like you get like the LA, Florida, I feel like you got just like people that actually are people. The
Yeah.
people that are like Florida is not a real place. You know what I mean? Like Jalen, yeah, he lives in Florida and stuff like that. But Florida's not a real place. LA, they live in their own bubble. But like, you know what I mean? These are like we're from real places where people have had to like work 9 to 5 jobs every day, or it's like, you know what I mean? It's a real deal experience.
Well, just the fact that you're a stockbroker is also refreshing for these shows.
I was looking at like a list of all of everybody's occupation from the season, just not even thinking about it. It was like model, traveler, model, stockbroker.
Yeah. I hope we get more nominations then, if that means we get different cast members.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. I'm getting close to the end. I'm honestly just really enjoying this conversation now. I guess I want to leave off. What advice would you give to the future people who might be interested in this show, and how to approach their journey?
I guess I would say like it's a very unique experience. It's only like 90 of us or 80 of us that have actually been a part of this experience all together. So just really understanding how special it is and cherishing every single moment while you're in there. A lot of people will just kind of go in there and be like, oh yeah, I'm on a show, whatever, cool. I'm like hot shit. Like, don't do that. Be yourself, like the best that you can be, and like actually show who you are through your personality and all of those things. Don't go in there trying to be something that you aren't, because it's going to get exposed every single time. So I would just say to like really be true to yourself. Always like cherish the moments, as I was saying, and just like continue to work in the process of all of the things that are going on, because they are watching. Like the whole time. It was such a long casting process and they're watching the whole time. So like just continue to be that person that they wouldn't have reached out to you. You wouldn't get this far in the process, and you would have never gotten on the show if you're going to be a part of it. Like if you weren't who you are. So just really trust in that and be that.
That's really good. Really good advice. I really enjoyed talking to you, Demari. I hope you have a good rest of your day.